Breeze. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Ready for football now on a sunny Florida afternoon. And we are underway from Miami. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. They start the drive with Cook. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
On second down, it's Cook again. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Smith now to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Let's go now.
They'll sneak it with Smith. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
But when you do call quarterback sneak, you don't mind if your quarterback's a little bit on the vertically challenged side, do you? Because he's just going to hide behind his big guys up front and be able to surge forward and pick up the first down.
Now Geno on first down. That is caught. It's Chad Johnson. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
And he goes down at the 26. A pickup of 13, and that last play began at the 13. First down. They run again on first down. Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The previous run good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Again, it's Cook. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. 45 yards rushing for him here. What a start to the ball game. It's first and goal. They'll run with Cook. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On second down, Cook. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Dalvin Cook taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Seahawks are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken just shy of the 10. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now it's 2nd and 9. From the pistol, here's Elliott. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
A first down carry by Elliott. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now Prescott. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A big 30-yard play on third. Prescott. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Seahawks are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
After the interception, here's Smith. He'll get this one to Kelsey. That's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 34.
You'd think defenses might be a little more prepared for plays like this because so many offensive coordinators, when they get the ball after a turnover, they do like to dial up a deep ball right away. And if I were a defensive coordinator in this league, that's exactly what I would say to my defense before they went out to play. In this case, though, they didn't get the message, and a big play resulted.
Cut. Ready?
First down, here's the run with Cook. They find some open field here. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Dalvin Cook with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get...
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown. George Pickens, 68 yards. And the Riverhogs are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Brett Maher on for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Geno now to throw. Open man here. It's the tight end, Kelsey. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Smith. Sanders has it over the middle. Now another timeout called for by the offense as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. Throwing again is Smith. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal. They'll run for it with Cook. And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Dalvin Cook as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fielded right around the 8. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, he just needed to throw it away, but instead, out of bounds he goes, and that's a sack. They'll wind up losing 11 on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. They'll throw now on the final play. And he wisely will throw that one away. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. So this a 2-possession ball game as we get back underway, set for the 3rd quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
On the sneak, it's Prescott. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. So call that no gain on the sneak, and now they're still a yard short here on 4th. They'll run it with Elliott. And boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Carlson able to put this one through, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7.
And right now, Charles, this is about building that lead little by little, and they're able to do just that.
And it gets them past the key number of 16, so this is now a 3-score lead. Not time to exhale just yet, but that might prove to be an important 3 points before things are said and done.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. See if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out.
3rd quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He'll buy some time right. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there, because to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
Prescott on first down. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. On play action, Prescott steps away. Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 39. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. And right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Here's Prescott. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Prescott. Over the middle, complete. It's Sanders. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You are watching Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. The kick by Maher is good, and that will close the gap down to 14. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still got to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the...
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Kirby Joseph. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A well-executed 22-yard gain. It's a keeper with Prescott, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Riverhogs have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the fourth quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts to early opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. I'm surprised with the lead in a one-score game this late. They're even putting the ball in the air in that situation.
Almost makes me feel like the head coach might be second-guessing himself by not clicking on and saying, all we're doing is running it here. But give credit to the guys on defense. They made a play that they absolutely had to have to give themselves a chance to be in this game.
So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Got a man, that's Ayuk. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. Here's Prescott. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Sliding out of the pocket. He's got Burton here. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
To throw, Prescott. And he's got it. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down. And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And this ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime. won't forget the extra point. It's up and good, and we may very well be headed to overtime. Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Hey, Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
He's going to get this one down to Cook. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game. 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now,
and now off to the races down the right side. And he's into the end zone